Inclusive park design means addressing physical and environmental barriers that keep people out and prevent participation. A park designer with accessibility in mind might think to include accessible parking spaces with level pavement, wide access aisles, and proper signage so people using wheelchairs or other mobility aids can safely exit their vehicles. For those dependent on public transportation, accessibility starts before one even arrives. For many individuals with disabilities, public transportation is their primary means of local travel. Therefore, it is imperative for transit routes and bus stops to be placed close to the entrance. Too often, bus stops are placed far from park entrances, requiring long, exhausting distances to be covered. The extra distance can mean the difference between visiting and staying home. When transit routes or bus stops are not accessible, the journey often ends before it begins. Once inside, pathways must be level and wide enough for mobility devices to pass comfortably. Pathways are the routes that link playgrounds, parking, rest areas, and community spaces together. Steep slopes in particular pose significant barriers to accessibility. When these paths have a steep grade, they make movement harder and limit accessibility to spaces. For individuals with disabilities, this could lead to strain or risk of tipping. What may look like a minor issue to one person can represent a complete barrier to another. When a route becomes unsafe, entire areas of the park become off limits. Thus, the journey often ends before it begins. Lastly, shade is an important aspect in park design, but for many individuals with disabilities, it is essential. Without covered seating or trees, sun and heat exposure can limit how long someone can safely stay outdoors. When parks lack shaded areas, visitors with disabilities are often forced to shorten their visits or avoid them entirely, and so, the journey often ends before it begins. Together, these design do's and don'ts work to create an environment where everyone can move safely, stay longer, and interact with their community.